all this food that we brought with. We were gonna like run a U-Haul and stuff to carry all that
stuff. Underground, a play about love, life, and revolution, written by Camille. This play was based on actual events, political beliefs, and the lives of real activists prior to going underground or becoming a weatherman. Those acting in the play, others somehow involved with the play, or the writer of the play does not necessarily adhere to all of Weathermen's beliefs. As they primarily held a rigid communist philosophy, this play was written for the sole intention of dramatizing the lives of activists, the choices they made, and why they became involved in significant historical events of homegrown terrorism during the time of the Vietnam War.
Do you know who I am? Probably not. I'm one of hundreds of women who you see every day, the unknown faces who have a past filled with dreams, ideas, rebellion. I lived during a time when everything in society was being reconsidered. Racism, poverty, war, class, environment, sexuality, culture, lifestyle, work. The New Left with its youth activists, committed revolutionaries, organized, analyzed, changed, and planned tactics to overthrow the existing authority. Yes, the revolutionary spirit burned inside of me, as it did for many. The war wasn't always only in Vietnam. There was a war going on right here in America. It was both a time of love and a time of hate, a time to be free and to demand that freedom and be yourself. A time when you dared to fight back. Yes, we saw it, we felt it. We knew the revolution was upon us. We talked, we planned, we studied, but most of all we acted. Maybe not as one, and not under one political theory or goal, for there were many factions even within each political belief. But oh, we moved. We moved in openly large units, discreetly small cell units, secretly on our own. Our motives behind violent sabotage and our belief in armed struggle as the best tool for raising the consciousness of the masses may not have been accepted by many, but I'll tell you why we were moved to such desperation. This is my story, so that you may know the reasons why I, like so many others at the time, went from pacifist to militant, from college kid to going underground.
Damn college, they have us all trying to do papers at a time like this. I had to do my paper during that sit-in. We ain't moving till you stop the bombings. Troops come home war guilt. You should have seen those cops drag people by the hair. Jeez.
Hey man, those damn cops are way out of control. They just killed another black kid on Harlem. It's no wonder black self-defense is a necessity.
That murder is another reminder of our white skin privilege. Anyway, I've dropped out of college. We have to drop out. You can't juggle school and revolution. Do we really want to learn how to be our parents? College only breeds more racist, rich corporate assholes for the future. Think about it.
I don't know about dropping out. There's a lot to say about campus organizing. The universities need to be reformed. For instance, we need to end discrimination and get some minorities admitted into the campus. Resolve issues pertaining to women, have classes that teach diversity and real history, things like that. Some of us in SDS are trying to really do some change on campus.
There was all this talk of radicalizing SDS more during the National Convention. The Progressive Labor Party has jumped in. I don't know, maybe it'll get more radical or something. SDS people spend too much time talking and squabbling. Why can't they be more militant and tight like the Black Panthers, Man, they got their shit together.
Maybe they will once they adopt PL's Marxist-Leninist Maoist rhetoric. I don't know about the Progressive Labor Party. They seem pretty manipulative. SDS is fine with its political diversity. It's got the Marxist and anarchist ideas all mixed together.
Well, if our white movement wants some serious revolution like what the Black Panther Party is doing, it might be wise to look into the Maoist theory. Hey, Tree, how's it going?
free pot. What it would be if we only had more free pot. Legalize marijuana, you guys got any right now?
Sorry, man. Hey, y'all better get ready soon. We're leaving for Washington in a few. I got my VW bus all fixed up. We just got to all pile in, pitch in for gas, and we're set to roll. Hey, our buddies from the Lower East Side are going down from the San Francisco Diggers to conduct an exorcism of the Pentagon. Some funny shit. Levitate that place and rid it of all of its evilness. Yeah, fuck the system.
All right, now's a good time to leave for that demonstration. I heard there's going to be hundreds of people. Rumors of veterans that are going to burn their draft cards, maybe looting and riots, major disruptions, and lots of speakers, that's for sure. Hey, let's pack already and get the hell out of here.
Right on, right on. Let's go confront the war makers in the Pentagon.
Yeah!
Power to the people.
Let's go!
Washington, where there was that persistent urge to be involved in the anti-war movement, to demonstrate against the state and support the anti-establishment politics. And besides all that, find liberation in a sense of belonging and love amongst each other.
Hey, LBJ, how many babies did you kill today? Hey, LBJ, how many babies did you kill today? Bring the war home! Bring the war home!
Bring the war home.
All commies.
Revolution.
Get a job.
Revolution. Well, hello there. What can I do for you?
Hey, you're pretty good at that. Just listening to ya. What's your name? I'm Claudia.
David.
Hi, brother.
Anywhere and everywhere. Oh, hey, take a new issue of The Guardian. I work with them right this minute. I try and get subscribers. It's pretty cool with this newspaper. No hierarchy. We all work just as hard, get paid the same, have regular meetings. So, what's going on with you? Like or are you, in disguise, are really a full-time revolutionary?
Well, I'm a newborn radical. I just dropped out of college. I want to dedicate all my time to further the cause of revolution.
All right, you commies, get out of town. This is your last warning. If you don't get out of here right now, you're going to be arrested. And one more thing, you scumbags better clear out of that campground too, because we saw some graffiti.
Many had no choice but to hit back, hit them quick, and then try to unarrest themselves by running away. That's what David tried to do, but he was arrested. David. Yeah, I met David during that march in Washington. I was mesmerized by his free and crazy spirit. He opened my eyes to politics like Marxist, Leninist, Maoist ideas, direct action like robbery and destruction to property, sex like 69, bisexuality, orgies, and butt-fucking, drugs like LSD, mescaline, hash, speed, reds, and rock and roll like Hendrix, Joplin, and Dylan. Yeah, David was something else.
Hot dogs for sale. Who wants some hot dogs? Get them right here. Fresh with cheese. Hot dogs.
Are you going to the Fillmore East later? I heard some bands are playing. Plus, Bread and Puppet and the 6th Street Guerrilla Theater groups are doing some stuff too.
Maybe just to check it out. I don't know though. That place is giving bad vibes to the motherfuckers. That property-loving Graham won't budge and give up Fillmore East for other stuff to go on. I think the motherfuckers are about to stage a takeover. Maybe we can just go check out the thugs down there at the Dome.
Nah, forget it. Anyway, I'm moving out of the apartment. I met this far-out man during the March on the Pentagon, and we've been hanging out lately, and we've decided to live together. We're going to live together with other activists.
So that's what's been going on. I can dig it. I can tell you what to do. But hey, we can still be lovers, right? Who's this man anyway? Where are you gonna live?
Over there by the Lower East Side. My parents will probably think that's a bad area for a female honky like me. But hey, living in the inner city area is only toughen me up for the revolution. I'm changing, Kevin. I mean, I can't help not to be involved with this whole thing, this whole crazy movement of resistance. I feel so free that I can quit my school, my job, grow my armpit hair. I quit the whole bourgeois-like look of having shampooed hair and nice clothes. I mean, this David guy I met doesn't even wear underwear. I mean, underwear could be just another restraint, you know what I'm saying? A capitalist invention, you know? He's a true revolutionary who claims to be a communist at heart.
I'm glad you're finally opening your eyes. I've been trying to explain ideas to you the whole 2 months we've been hanging out together, but you never listened to me. But now you're going to listen to some communist? See, Claudia, you can be any type of revolutionary, but a communist? That's another form of government. Potentially can be just as oppressive as our capitalist system. What about anarchism in theory?
Theory, yeah. Well, I've never read anything about the whole anarchy thing. That's your ballgame, Kevin. I'm reading a lot on Marx, Mao, Che, and that's what's working for the many youths right now. Take a look around you. People breathe communism right now. All these groups are forming up under this whole elite.
Well, it's best for you to probably move out. Staying with a college liberal and stoner probably wasn't too exciting for you. Just leave me a message at the IWW headquarters if you need to find me.
Hey, young lady, how about a hot dog for you?
Nah, I'm on a new diet. I don't eat meat.
Yeah, Kevin was a good man to be with, an anarchist who had visions, but I never really understood him. Probably because I'd never read about the rich history of anarchism. I never gave a theory an ear. But Kevin went on fine without me. He still lived in that big giant place on 11th Street. They called it the Anarchy House. It was full of people. People met there to discuss ideas, and there were always strangers crashing on the floor. One thing about the anarchists that I do remember, they were always ready for some shit. You can call them up any day for an action, and they're always willing to show up. Even though it was to do an action with communists, people that they didn't really agree with politically, they came out to be there. Anyway, I moved in with these new people and began to live much differently than I did in the university apartments.
Hey everyone, guess what? I started this writing job with a local radical paper on East 15th Street. I'm so excited about it. So how's the SDS convention going, Angie?
More ideological disputes. SDS looks like it's about to splinter up, and the Progressive Labor Party is almost out the door. RYM people would chant, ho 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 Chi Minh, dare to struggle, dare to win. Then PL people would chant, Mao Mao Te Sung. Well, banging on the table with their red books, that whole room was in an uproar. The Weathermen group were the only ones that made sense. There were also discussions on the RYM proposal, and the others were calling for more militant positions.
Violence against the state, a fighting force. Build a larger-than-life anti-racist and anti-imperialist movement. I mean, that's the only way to go. We need to quit doing all these cowardly liberal bullshit, get more militant, start our own political cell. I mean, we should really have a meeting about this. We need to gear ourselves up for some real heavy direct action.
Oh, David, that's the crazy plan. that you have now? Claudia, by the way, this is Conrad Nathan. That's Claudia. She's, all right, she lives with us.
Conrad Nathan is what our capitalist government calls a terrorist. He's wanted for 4 bombs attacks. Hey man, maybe you can give us some pointers. Well, he wants to stay here until he can decide on his next move. You have to let him stay. He's a comrade, branded as a fugitive because he strives to bring down the state. Yeah!
Hey, it's cool with me. I'm always willing to help a comrade in need.
When I hijack a plane to Cuba. All there is to it, you threaten the plane and force the pilot to change the flight course to Cuba. Yeah, that's all I need to get out of here. If I don't get out of here, they'll catch me. I'm looking at the death penalty.
Gee, hijacking. That's totally insane.
Look, I'm already facing prison sentence. If and when they do catch me, what have I got to lose? No one will get hurt on that plane. Please think about this. Anyway, I had a really long day. Thanks so much for hiding me. Next time I plan to help me out, okay?
There are some guns I already picked up from this Vietnam vet I know. They're clean. I mean, I don't think they killed any Viet Congs.
Maybe he'll need a gun, Garrett. Maybe or maybe not. There's been over 24 hijackings to Cuba just this year, and most of them made it to Cuba without the hijackers threatening anyone with a real gun. Let's just give them a fake one. I mean, the pilots are ordered by the airlines to do what the hijackers want, so no one will get hurt. I have a feeling our comrade here will make it to utopian land successfully either way.
We'll let him decide. I'm out of here. I'm meeting up with some crazies to do some graffiti.
Some LSD. Just picked up pure LSD from a friend of the stash from San Francisco from the apartment.
Hey, where are you both going?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I haven't fucked Angie for a while now. You're welcome to join us if you like. We did agree not to have a monogamous relationship. And you did say that you were curious about going back.
Well,
Yeah, Claudia. I mean, it's all good. It's all about free love. Just come in when you're ready.
am I jealous? Am I reactionary? Is this because I'm of my bourgeois, upper middle class, white upbringing? I don't want to see them fucking in there like animals. Maybe I should just go in the other room and fuck them too. I'm curious. Should I just go in there even if I am pissed off?
Yeah, David liked to pull shit like that. Sleep with other women, sleep with my friends. Well, I did it too. He didn't seem to mind as much as I did. The whole sexual revolution was exploding. The time was right to share your partner. It helped build togetherness within the activists. So fucking over here, fucking over there, fucking just about anywhere was all right. It was accepted. We were supposed to accept it. We weren't supposed to control each other's bodies. But to tell you the truth, the non-monogamy theory was both confusing and frustrating. So sometimes I had the tendency to be jealous. Yep, I was.
Now, fucking commies, man. This new left movement, communist anarchist bullshit has got to be crushed. It's only right because national security is what's at stake here. And they're complaining about us shooting them? Man, that's all justified. You know? Look at this. Check out this newspaper here. LA Times. Berkeley's finest. The Berkeley PD injured in at least 100 people riot at People's Park. Oh my God, one white boy dead. It's really getting real serious. Too bad it wasn't a fucking pant. That's right, man. Making progress, though, you know. Most of those Panthers are already in jail or hiding. They better watch out. Yeah, all those groups are bound to get crushed. Old Hoover couple of 1,000 agents investigating these groups, but hell, there's quite a few of them, you know? Can't even keep up. All sorts of groups forming overnight. Where is What's happening to our children? What's happening? It ain't like it used to be. When all the good men went to the service, did their duty. Oh yeah, but where's that narc we've been working on there from the underground? Get her in here! Right now. We should talk to her right now. Where are you? Hurry up, man. The government's money is being wasted. Get on in here. So it says here that you're a college student? Living alone?
I'm not telling you anything.
Dangerous world, living alone. But you've recently lived with Claudia, who has ties with the CAC and SDS, and a couple of leftist papers. And you also lived with Kevin, who claims to be an anarchist involved with the Wobblies. And you've been seen with members of the motherfuckers. What's up with all this? We got the goods on you, Missy. You're going down. And another roomie is Jeremy, a.k.a. Tree, a pot dealer, and now you're hanging around with anti-war Luddites. Don't you know this is the 70s? That Luddite shit is dead. This group called the Committee for Nonviolent Action, Jennifer, you know you're in real trouble now. Destroying property, government property of the Department of Defense, of the FBI, government property, such as a nuclear weapon. Destruction of that would carry a heavy prison sentence. Life in jail, no parole. You know what jail's like? No. It ain't no golf course. It ain't no club. And you can't curl your hair. So we're talking about college just going down the shitter, Jennifer. No more for you. No more. No more.
Cell block 7, that's your new address.
No more graduate program for you, because we'll just make sure that the government cuts those loans, because they're going to cut them anyways. All you got in your future is a prison cell unless you talk to us. That's all you got. And you'll probably be killed in prison.
You know what?
Yeah, it's not smart.
We can arrange you to have your life back to normal. You know? And, you know, give you a second chance. We're here to help you. You're here to help us. We just need some feedback. We know you're not the real activist here. You're just caught up in the wrong crowd. Wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. You're safe now, though, with us. You know, just help us out here. This isn't what you want, for sure.
I'm telling you, he's being real nice to you. He's being so nice. Those prison guards are not nice. They're not nice. And all those inmates in prison, they're definitely not as nice as us. FBI. What do you got to say about this?
All right, I'll go out.
All you got to do is go give us some scoop. Nothing to it. Ain't nothing to it. And we'll drop all those charges that you're facing that will put you in jail.
All right, I'll go out there. I'll try to get connected, but I really don't know these people you want. I don't know any criminals.
Of course you do. We know you know criminals. All your friends are criminals. You're criminal-minded. You're a bad seed. But we're willing to let you off. All you got to do is suggest some crime. Because you know the power of suggestion is a very powerful force, especially the criminal anarchist types. Don't ever try it. If they have crime in their hearts, they will commit crime. And you can make them do that. So, well, your first assignment should be pretty easy. All we need you to do is go up to that big hippie fest at Woodstock, listen to some gossip, meet people, and that's all. Just hear what the shit is going down. Because we need to be prepared. The government's money, the freedom of the world is at stake here. We're not going to put around and put up with this bullshit.
It's bullshit, too.
President Nixon has made it very clear. There's going to be a stop to this.
All right, I'll do it.
You better. You're going out.
America is on your shoulders.
Besides the government keeping an eye on armed struggle advocates, they even had heavy surveillance on peaceful anti-war demonstrators and pacifist civil rights activists. Their snoop list was always expanding. The FBI and his COINTELPRO, the CIA, all and all the police force in the entire country was put on red alert and instructed to spy, monitor, penetrate, disrupt, and neutralize the growing number of organized activists. Yeah, that made it difficult for us to keep the movement strong. Trust among us became an issue, and another setback was the movement had rats.
Yeah, this is the security guard at the Acme warehouse. Everything's logged and complete. Okay, boss. Yeah, everything's taken care of. I have a family.
Shut up, man, or you won't get hurt!
You have a family? So do we. We're brothers and sisters in the revolution.
Oh, my God. So important. Things have to be taken care of.
Okay. We'll be needing these supplies over here.
Right, man. Go, let's go!
Yes!
Did y'all hear on the radio? The plane to Florida has been diverted to Cuba. Our buddy Conrad Nathan made it. What's going on? What's that box? Where'd you all go?
We went out to rob a warehouse. That shit was easy. The guard gave up right after he saw the gun. We didn't even have to hurt him. We had some grooved out disguises too. You should have seen us. Well, we have a couple hundred sticks of dynamite right here. Dozens of plastic caps.
Nitroglycerin right here in our apartment? We can blow up.
This is for the night, Claudia. We're moving it tomorrow to this rented warehouse basement. Right now, we'll stick it in the fridge so it'll stay cool, okay?
So how come the women got left out? Why didn't we know about this hold-up plan? You're both being sexist, thinking we couldn't do the same shit, huh?
Well, frankly, you've been busy with your underground paper writing job and that volunteer vegetarian cooking thing for the homeless. Plus organizing for that Weathermen women's action. While Angie over here has been busy with Weathermen issues, meetings, actions. Did I leave anything out? So, you know, Derek and I, we just scouted the area ourselves. Besides, the walls were too high, and these boxes are bound to be super heavy, so, you know, you wouldn't have done us any good out there.
Well, you know, I think you guys are both full of shit. I mean, yeah, we've had meetings about getting more militant, but I thought we were going to have meetings first about this robbery, and we were supposed to be some sort of collective, but no, you both had to go out there and do this shit by your manly selves, bringing back some explosives.
Come on, everyone. Let's just celebrate. We have to think about these strategic locations we want to blow up. Destruction of property can lead us an inch closer to the revolution. We're going to target some corporation or a federal building or some army recruiting center. What do you think?
Hey, I think it might be racist for us whiteys to go and to just go ahead and use these things for what? Our own purpose? We've got to consult the Black Panthers regarding this. We have to know what they think. I mean, do you all agree?
Hey, since you're going with Claudia to the Panthers United Front Fascism Conference in Oakland this weekend, then why don't you do that task and consult with them? Meanwhile, Derek and I are going to be out scoping our targets, all right? Woo! Woohoo!
Let's not start blowing things up just yet. Let's go to Woodstock first. Come on, everyone who's going.
Woodstock? Now's no time for Woodstock. We've got to fuel the revolution right here, right now.
All right. Since we did plan to go, I guess some revolution will wait till it's been put off.
Yeah, we took off to Woodstock. It was packed by freaks and radicals who came out to build a temporary freedom zone. Of course, the radical leftists sneered at the freaks who seemed oblivious to the revolutionary movement, and the freaks waved the serious left off and just celebrated life. But then it's hard to tell who's who. For the freaks are revolutionaries, and the revolutionaries are freaks. All sorts of people blended together for 3 days of music and community. There were thousands of campsites, kitchens, hospital tents, bands, love, and the free city. I enjoyed myself and saw bands I wanted to see, like Jefferson Airplane and Hendrix.
Tree.
Well, come home, sister.
All right.
Legalize marijuana. Sign this petition here. And we got a table over there too. Check out and lots of information. Hey, give me that Groovy Jimi Hendrix is up next.
Claudia, hi.
Oh, hi. How's it going? Oh. How are you? It's good to see you. This is my partner, David. Well, I have to go back to the booth.
Hey, Claudia, this is a friend of mine.
We went to the city university together. We were involved in campus student protests. How about you?
Me? A student organizer. I'm a radical communist. My bombs.
You're kidding, right?
Hey, you and me shack it up for a little while. I have a tent pitched up by the hills over there. Just have a good time. You dig it?
I dig it. Claudia won't mind if we take off on her, will she?
Nah. See that guy next to her in the booth?
Wrong person to get involved with, especially that David had a big mouth. There were four of us in the collective who shared a secret. No one else was supposed to know about the explosives and our intent to use them, unless we decided to bring new collective members into the group. But David told 5 other people. That's 5 others who may tell other people too. One of those people who we bragged to was Jennifer, who hung around with David sometimes. And unknown to any of us until our arrest, will be the source of that full confession to the FBI.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm the bank guard.
What floor is the president's office on?
Door floor, ma'am, but we're closing in 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, I was looking for the accounting office.
5th floor, sir, but I think the office are closed now.
Okay, thanks.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, security here.
Chase Manhattan Bank is one of our corporate enemies who keeps this corrupt system powerful by helping finance racist actions against the Vietnamese. We have planted bombs in your building. It is set to detonate in 15 minutes. Evacuate the building now! He's not on to me. Oh.
Is this some kind of joke?
Stop your business and evacuate the building now!
Bomb squad, we have a bomb threat here at the Chase Manhattan main branch. We've been given 15 minutes. Yes, sir. Attention all remaining employees in the building. This is an emergency. You must evacuate the building now. Evacuate the building now.
Fuck, man, I can't believe it. We blew up a bank. Oil company and a recruiting center. Yeah! Our communiques on the radio.
Hey, shouldn't you guys be doing that in the basement?
Just getting the wire set up. Successful bombs.
You and David have also planted 5 bombs that didn't go off. I think the FBI will get a clue with those bombs. They all look the same. I think we have to be a bit more careful too. We should destroy the property but safeguard people's lives. We have to make those phone calls in time and get the workers out. We have a collective responsibility here. I'm not going to be the only one making those phone calls each time.
Why don't you go out there and plant the bombs then? You've already got some assembled. You can rent into the basement.
Fine, I'll get all the skies and plant one of those federal buildings. plant one at the federal building. Everyone agree?
Sure, but I can't be part of this. I'm going to be leaving tomorrow morning for the Weathermen's meeting. I'll be taking action in Chicago. I should be back in a couple of days. It's our neighbor, the brother who's always stoned out of his mind.
Okay.
Hey man, what's going on? You never believe two vets came to my door? They were asking for you.
So, what did you tell him, man?
I told them I didn't know you. It's just organic peanut butter. Sprout?
Yeah, it's Ruby. Anyway, we're still all right with what we talked about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
All right.
We went ahead and targeted the federal building. That was my pride and joy action. It was a clean move. Destruction of symbolic government property without a scratch. No one was hurt. David and Derek took charge of writing the communiques and sending them to the local newspapers. They also made the bomb threat on the phone. The destruction to businesses grew more every day. Bomb scares were going off left and right, and the workers were given a break from their 9 to 5s each time a call was made. Our affinity group was an organized, armed unit, but yeah, sometimes clumsy. But we continued on with our guerrilla actions. And despite the feeling that the feds had branded us enemies of the state, and were already hot on our trail, we went to Chicago to be part of what would be known as the Days of Rage.
Hey, David, man, did you see the famous Chicago police statue got blown up?
Oh, that was a groovy idea, man. The Weathermen have their shit together.
Off the pigs! Off the pigs! Off the pigs!
Hey, the revolutionaries! What are we fighting for?
Yeah! The pig!
Movement!
Oh, yeah!
Get out of Chicago! We have our boots and helmets on? For what, brothers and sisters? For what?
Off the pigs! Off the pigs!
You're not tough enough.
David, help me, man!
Get out of here!
I'm gonna get down, come on!
Get out of here, commies!
Please! Fucking helmet's cracked, the skull is crushed!
The Chicago experience was unforgettable. Although he had some concerns about the action itself, women's involvement, and male machismo, we were, nevertheless, a fighting force. There were hundreds of weathermen on the streets of Chicago ready for war. Injuries to the police was evident. The weather people gave the system the same violence they had shown us. Of course, many were put in jail for that action, approximately 300 arrests and 60 indictments. The 19 so-called leaders of the Weathermen were blamed for the destruction and chaos in Chicago, and their trial only sparked more action and protest from the west to the east. Meanwhile, we went back to New York, hoping the feds would continue to stay off our backs.
Wasn't Chicago so exhilarating? Wow, there were so many anti-war protests going on. This whole country is exploding. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. Okay, here it is. Look, look at the New York Post. They're calling for immediate apprehension of the federal building bombers. Quite different from the underground press, many of whom are cheering us on. I mean, many agree with planting bombs on corporate empires who help finance their wars on Vietnam and target institutional symbols of a racist government is a justified action. But yeah, there are those who disagree with us with the use of nonviolence against the state, which I can't imagine.
Oh man, that sedan has been out there all day. The feds are definitely out there. That car hasn't moved for hours. Those two guys, they just go out to stretch and they sit there and wait. Oh man, I think this is it. I better leave now. I gotta go to that commune and hide for a bit.
David, I think you better split, man. You're the person they're looking for. Just come back through the basement down the alley, okay?
Okay, all right.
See anything?
Oh man,
You're under arrest. You kids are goners for anti-government activities. Get on the floor. Down now. I'll shoot. It's all being shown on cops. You have no rights.
So we were all rounded up. My bail was lowered twice and finally came to set at $25,000. The movement did not have that kind of money to put up for political prisoners. So people like Derek and David had no choice but to stay in. But Angie and myself had relatives willing to put up the money. So we were given the choice to be out on bail until our court date. Yeah, we felt the white revolutionaries were given more slack, a lowered bail amount, especially compared with the Panther 21, who were rotting in jail, and they hadn't even blown up a building. So we had two choices, to be freed on bail and go underground, or serve the sentence and give our family back the bail monies. We felt more productive being on the streets than in jails. Besides, other Weathermen were already deciding to go underground rather than face charges. Such was the case with those accused in the Chicago action.
Kevin, hi. Oh,
Claudia, you rebel, you. Look at your hair. I didn't even recognize you. If the Weathermen people fall short, here's a contact list of some of the Anarchist network willing to house you for a few days. Destroy the list if it gets too hot. How are you feeling about this whole thing?
oh, Kevin, I don't know. I'm going to miss you and all my friends. I have to hide from everybody, keep my identity a secret. Be always on the run and suspicious of everyone. I don't know. Being underground is not easy. I have only the Weathermen and the revolutionaries above ground to help me financially and support me emotionally. And look at my new identity. I look so conservative. People are hissing at me.
This is a decision only you can make. The underground movement is getting bigger and bigger. Even non-violent activists are going underground. How will I know you're all right?
I'll call from a payphone once a month. At the IWW office under the name Shannon Hill, okay?
Hello, Shannon.
Marcy?
Yes. Here's your ID, here's your new ID, bus ticket, and some cash. I will be your connection with those above and under. This is the address you will be going to first. These people are friends of the revolution. Those of us above ground will keep this underground movement strong. We will raise funds and arrange for your transportation, destination, and networking with those other people underground. Don't forget that the struggle continues underground, Shannon. We have a war to win. We will keep in touch with you via payphones. Instructions will be given at each time. Take care, sister.
Take care.
I first headed to the West Coast to stay with some sympathizers. I stayed at several communes with friends from college, took many road trips, camping trips, and even hooked up with other Weathermen folks to continue the bombing campaign against America. Angie went underground too and headed somewhere out to Georgia. Derek was sentenced to 5 years, and David, who the narc pointed out as the ringleader, was sentenced to 15 years and was hauled off to Attica.
This is CBS News Action News Update. We're here live in front of the prison gates of Attica, where I have just been informed that the prisoners have taken control of one wing of the prison building, with at least 25 guards taken hostage. The prisoners are protesting conditions at this maximum security prison. Negotiations are still underway with city officials to resolve this uprising. We will keep you informed as more developments become available. This is Seth, reporting live from Attica.
After listen to your request, we'll do what we can.
Man, this place is unbelievable. We get locked up 7 days a week and we get to shower warmth. They're treating us like animals.
Again, we'll see what we can do.
Attica! 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 Attica!
Get this guy. Boom! You're dead. Oh, boom! Oh. You know that you're responsible.
Action 2 News Update. We're here once again live near the prison walls of Attica, where a sudden turn of events has just taken place. The 3-day uprising was nearing its end when this morning, Governor Rockefeller commanded the state troopers to claim Attica back by force. As a result, it has now been confirmed that at least 29 prisoners and 10 hostages are now dead. It is a bloody scene in Attica, and many people are asking the same question. Why did city officials decide to end the uprising with violence? This is Seth, reporting live from Attica.
Poor David, they killed him, Claudia. He's gone forever.
I know, Angie. Oh, life is so short. He was wasted just like that. All the things David and I argued about, sexism, male chauvinism, the power struggle in our affinity group. Yeah, I will miss him too, Angie.
Did you see that man? I bet he's an agent. I had a feeling he was being followed here. I can't believe this. I can't live like this anymore, Claudia. It's been over a year of hiding and running. I'm so tired of this. We have all a revolutionary... We have all of the revolutionaries gone. Where are they, Claudia? I can't fight the revolution like this. Our comrades aren't there for us anymore. This underground force can't survive without assistance from those above ground. They've forgotten me, and those that haven't are trying to control me. I swear it.
I know what you mean, Angie. Committed revolutionaries are starting to dwindle. Disillusionment is on the rise. The infighting amongst the revolutionaries doesn't do us any good either. The government is cracking down on all the groups more than ever. And yeah, meditation, yoga, microbiotic things like that are becoming a movement all its own, a new safer battle cry. But the network is still there for us. Yes, it is. I still meet with other weather people when we can.
I don't know, Claudia. I'm turning myself in. Yes. I'll serve jail time, and soon I can walk around without being paranoid. I'm paranoid 24 hours a day. I can't go out there in peace. I have to constantly be looking out. They might catch me and just shoot me. Others have already turned themselves in. I'm abandoning this fugitive life. I can't stand being a fugitive anymore.
For her, the revolution was losing its committed revolutionaries. She felt disillusioned, but most especially she felt alone. Running from town to town, city to city, state to state was not a life for her. The guerrilla movement for white honkies like us was not easy. Angie chose to give up and admit guilt to what she had done. She served just as much time as Derek. There was no added sentence for the delay in going to court. So with that in mind, others in the underground were also considering giving up. When Derek and Angie left prison, a meeting was arranged for me to meet with both of them. It was good to see my old affinity group again.
How are the two ex-prisoners doing? I'm so happy to see you.
It's good to see you too. How is fugitive life? Still hanging in there?
Never give up. I'm fine. I live very much in peace out there in the woods with my partner. I think the feds got off my back.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
How about you two? What have you been up to the last few years since you got out of prison?
Well, more bomb making in my schedule book. I work as a high school teacher, teaching history, real history. We have to inform our children about the truth. That's really important. I also work for a small publishing firm and do some volunteer work for an anti-racist newspaper.
Yeah, me, I started my own small business, alternative healthcare as a matter of fact. We're small distributors of herbal medicine. I'm still involved with many issues though. Environmental, women's liberation, racism, political prisoners, but now express myself through nonviolent terms.
Yeah, we're old. Our youthful spunk has deteriorated. We will probably be no match against the police if we did another battle scene. I'm so glad to see all of you. Oh, this is my partner, Roger.
Hey,
dramatic moment here.
Now do you know who I am? I'm one of hundreds of women who you see every day. The unknown face who have a past. A past filled with dreams, ideas, rebellion. Although the revolutionary spirit of hundreds of people like us may remain dormant or no longer around, the movement never really dies. It's people like you who can keep that spirit alive.
This play has been brought to you by Food Not Bombs and Soup. The cast of characters, the affinity group. Claudia was played by Molly. David was played by John. Angie was played by Adriana. Derek was played by Jeff. Top number 1 and FBI number 1 by Daniel. Top number 2 and FBI 2, Cody. Kevin was played by Chris. Jessica, played by Angie. The TV reporter by me. Tree, the bank guard and prison official, played by Jay. Marcy is also played by Angie. The hot dog man, fugitive Conrad Nathan, security guard, stone neighbor, rioter, spy, and Roger by Josh. And the narration was played by Raleigh. And this was written by Camille.
Alright, thanks a lot everyone. This play was a true story. If you want more information about this play, you can check out this book called Which Way the Wind Blew. And next, I'm going to introduce you to someone. He used to be involved with the movement in the 70s with the SDS and the Weathermen. His name is Michael Novick. He does a magazine called People Against Racist Terror. And before he comes, sorry, it's called Turning the Tide. He's involved with a group called People Against Racist Terror. It's called Turning the Tide. And he's been active since the 70s. And before he comes up here, we're going to get some revolutionary spirit in this room. I need the audience participation. Everyone get up, put your fist up in the air, and just repeat after me. All power to the people. All power to the people. Power to the people. Hey, that was weak. Let's try it one more time. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the woman. All power to the woman. All power to the oppressed. All power to the oppressed. All power to the individual.
Take a couple of minutes. As somebody who did live through this, I thought this was an opportune moment to speak for a few minutes. I wanted to lay some of the groundwork for some of the events you saw dramatized here in my life, and then talk about some lessons we can learn. I did get involved in the movement actually in the 60s, and one of the things that happened at that time, or that we became aware of, was that there was a tremendous discontinuity between the earlier movements and struggles in this country and the new left that sprung up at that time. And this was the result of strategies and tactics that the government had used. People are probably familiar with the so-called anti-communist witch hunt, the Hollywood 10, the suppression of really the left in this country that took place after World War II.
in the late 40s and early 50s, and people were driven from their jobs. The school I went to, Brooklyn College, they liquidated the student government. They fired dozens and dozens of faculty members. They destroyed the student newspaper because at the time of the Korean War in the 50s, people had spoken up, and it was no longer cool to be against the war in the 50s at that time. And so they destroyed everybody who tried to maintain a continuity to the movements that had existed before World War II. And so we came on the scene kind of on a blank page. We came out of the silent generation when people had really internalized this anti-communism, the paranoia, the idea that if you got out of line or stood up, you would be hammered back down. You know, the ideals of education were the ideals of what they call the multiversity. They wanted to serve the growing corporate elite and train people for that. And so a lot of us were radicalized in that context of being cut off from previous struggles, previous history, trying to kind of invent the wheel on our own. And that had some good aspects and some bad. I think the good aspects were that we brought a fresh approach and the desire to really make change that people said couldn't be done. We began to make them. The bad aspects were that we were not able to learn some of the lessons of the past struggles. And I see that, you know, here we are in the 90s, and I see that dynamic recreating itself because post the events that were dramatized here, the same kind of repression at a much higher level, a much bloodier level took place against the Black Panther Party, against many other forces, the American Indian movement, the Puerto Rican independence struggle, as those movements really grew and developed. And, you know, sometimes we glamorize it, but there was a sense in that period of time that the system was on the ropes, and that there really was a revolutionary offensive going on around the world, and not just in this country, but in France in '68, and in China, you know, in every corner of the world. The people were responding to the transformation of society that was taking place under the U.S. empire and in opposition to that empire. And the empire was actually reeling. I think it's a fact. There was a tremendous fissure in the consciousness of masses of people in this country for a period of time. And they developed a fight back strategy, and it was based on some of the things you saw dramatized here. It was based on people being given choices, and particularly in the white left, people were given the choice to get back in line, buy back into the system, or face the consequences. And the consequence was spelled out against mostly movements of color, against the Black Panther Party, against the American Indian movement. And unfortunately, too many people in my generation, faced with that choice and faced with that struggle, our resistance caved in. We were not able to sustain ourselves, and some of the things that were alluded to about the split between sort of cultural politics and you know, people who thought the revolution was exclusively about using drugs or free sex, and a lot of male chauvinism that really ran through the movement, very rampant, and also white supremacy and racism in the white left, in the women's movement, in definitely SDS and those forces, weakened the ability of people to continue their struggle and resist. And so if you look at that period of time, you see that the empire launched a counteroffensive, and they were successful over a period of time to really liquidate those movements. The white left did not respond in the kind of numbers it should at the attacks that were direct against the Black Panther Party and other forces. You know, there were military offensives waged in this country. COINTELPRO was only one aspect of it. The other thing I want to make clear, and maybe it was clear from the drama, is that SDS and the Weather Underground was only one bit of a really mass phenomenon. There were hundreds of armed actions that took place in this country during the period of the Vietnam War, and as the civil rights movement transformed itself into a human rights and black power movement. And this was not only a phenomenon of SDS, but on many campuses, people burned down ROTC buildings, and you know, the guy who was depicted in the thing who was killed in Attica was a real person, Sam Melville, who was not in the Weather Underground, but did carry out bombings with a collective of people in New York against Chase Manhattan, was in prison, was killed in Attica. And so this was something that was happening in many sectors. One of the things that affected the movement in that time, and you know, as somebody who lived through it and was in the Weather Underground, I can tell you that there were many errors made, and they were errors of elitism. There were errors of exceptionalization. There was a sharp struggle against imperialism, and there were struggles inside the movement, and those struggles were not carried out in a way that built people and built people's ability to deepen their commitment and built people's ability to resist. They were struggles that were carried out that were destructive to people's capacity to really endure in the struggle. And there were struggles that were carried out that were in the guise of being against racism, were a few people aggrandizing themselves and saying they were the exceptional few who understood how terrible the system was and prepared to fight. And the result of that was really diminishing the capacity of many, many other people to resist in a variety of ways that would be